Which page is that? Okay.
All right. You found it? Did you get the lower third?
Yeah, it's in there. I was trying to move it up to the top. It's at the bottom.
You got it.
Frank, I'm gonna put this in the middle of me and you.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's live?
This has everything just to do with people,
Okay,
action. So this isn't the whole process.
okay.
Okay.
Is
Y'all
that
look,
this? Or is this leadership?
That's level 5 leader. Yeah.
Okay.
y'all lower third right here. Too.
Okay, go ahead, you can, oh, I can do it.
Yeah,
So I'm just going, it's just, who
boom.
that?
That's that camera. Don't worry about
Oh.
that. You right here. So
Okay.
just preview and hit y'all
And
lower
hit
third.
the, okay,
Are we gonna have this up here? No.
yeah. Nephew, will that be on or no?
Yeah.
Could you please? Thank you. And you turn my mics back on?
Yeah, he got that.
Okay.
Over there.
Come on, let's go.
That's one. Yeah. I'll go through it.
Have a good show.
Thank you.
You don't know where to put it.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, sunshines. Good morning, Mr. Millhouse.
Good morning, Mrs. Millhouse.
Good morning, Frank Martin. Mr.
morning,
Frank
First Lady.
Martin. Y'all heard? Say that again.
Good morning, First Lady.
Carrie, Miss Carrie Steele, not the first lady here, the one inside here. Good morning. I can't hear you. You already know I'm gonna need to hear you. Good morning, sunshines. I am Dawn Millhouse. Good morning, nephew Ron. Can I hear your voice? You got your hair all, you got fresh twists and everything. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
Sonia Escobar, come back. He's taking your job. You trained him well. Good morning. Welcome to the Book of Dawn. I am Dawn Millhouse. I am joined today by my Mr. Millhouse and Frank Martin, who is what's your title? Because you got a promotion recently to, didn't he get like, he's
I got a
head
lot of
He's
titles.
got a lot of time.
Okay, he a boss.
President.
He's the president of International Development.
Yeah. President of Development.
President of Development, let's be clear, that includes both continents or all 7 or however
World.
many, the world. Amen. For Millhouse Engineering and Construction, it is Tuesday, December 28th. It happens to be the birthday, the 22nd birthday of our baby child. Happy birthday, Jay Ashley. 22. I learned that from Tony McCoy when he played in Spain. He used to say, that's what they used to scream, 22. I was like, okay, well, now I know 22 in Spanish. The weather is 29 degrees. It's going to be a balmy 31 degrees. So, hey, y'all know what I say when it gets hot outside. No thought flops and no leggings that I can see through. Today is National Call a Friend Day.
Yeah, okay.
Call your friends. Tell your friends what up. Happy belated birthday, Joyce Jackson, Tiffany Merrills, Fred Hammond, one of my favorite gospel singers, Kelly Lou Doss, Chris Latimer, the New York homie, Deanna Knight, Lance Thompson, a Luther South Brave, Alicia Gonzalez, your friend from LGC. Birthday was on Christmas Day. Brooke Frazier, my cousin-in-law, Jeremiah's wife, just had another baby, too. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Lamar Jones, bass player, Autumn Merritt, and Krista Chin, who is the boss lady at one of the boss ladies NBA. On behalf of the Millhouse, Pearson, and Ross family, thank you for every call, for every text, for every card, and for every prayer and well wish. We appreciate you, family, and we just ask that you continue to keep our family covered in your prayers. Y'all know death has a way of giving you new life, but it's always, I keep telling you, I'm going to make a movie about black people and funerals and death and stuff, because we be tripping.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
At least we consistent.
Big facts. That's what we're going to talk about, consistency today.
We are good.
Listen, love your family. Rest in peace, Donnie Kirksey. To the big homie, DK. Wow. COVID is no respecter of persons. And Reverend Corey Brooks just sent me a text that talks about COVID, and men specifically, black men, ages 18 to 55, are the number one people that end up not living because of COVID. It's a study. It's from all of the results they have. It affects men, black men from 18 to 55.
Is there any one number more than another?
I can read the whole article and look, but yeah, it's interesting.
Because they just wild down south.
Oh yeah, y'all go to
Wide open.
They ain't wearing masks. The first they having parties with pools in them. It's it's whatever down there. Yeah, but wear your mask, guys, and just respect the process. Okay, we're almost on the other side. See you on the other side means something real different now to me. I know when the old people used to say "see you on the other side," I didn't know what they meant. I know now, because you never know. Listen.
That's right.
We are going to take a quick commercial break, but get your pens and your pads, because we getting down to business today with Millhouse Engineering. We do this every last Monday of the month. And if you don't know some things or want to learn some new things, let us know. Also, if you have a great idea, email greatideas@millhouseinc.com. You never know. This one day this is going to be a Shark Tank. And
Pre-Shark Tank.
Yeah, the pre-Shark Tank.
And we've seen a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep the ideas coming. Stay engaged. Oh, did I tell you to share, like. And if y'all want to, I know my husband is here, but y'all can still make it rain on me. Send the stars, okay? I'm going to show you how to be good to great.
Right.
This book should be more, I think this is good to great, the business edition. Then there could be good to great, the wife edition. Good to great, never mind. I'm going down a rabbit hole.
That's a good point.
Good to great
You're preaching.
by Jim Collins. If you don't have it, you're gonna learn about it today. Flywheels and hedgehogs, and
Absolutely.
like the hedgehog, like the thing that we saw in Arizona. Not that kind, right? I'm sorry. We'll be right back. This is the Book of Dawn. Stay with us.
Did you?
You were too much.
The hedgehog. Yeah. I was hedging. Okay. I love you too. That sounds like Maze. I'm gonna need you to come in tomorrow.
Right.
Todd is hilarious. we're gonna go through to 45. We're gonna go through to 45, to the next break, 45. Cool. We go through to 45 and don't take the 30 break, okay. That's that old Shaun White there that want to kiss and do all that sexual stuff without a label. Shaun White, y'all, he's actually got a really dope album, but you need a label. There's a label on your T-shirt, Shaun. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Let's Get Down to Business on the Book of Dawn with Mr. Millhouse and special guest Frank Martin. We are discussing, well, really, I'm going to just kind of learn a lot. I know Good to Great from a social and philanthropic perspective, but I know it because a couple years ago you introduced this concept to your firm.
Yep.
Worldwide in all of your offices, and it was you were so moved by it. It has changed a lot of your philosophy.
Yep.
So let's just jump right in, and you go ahead and
Sure.
share.
Let's jump in. This isn't a new book. Most of the individuals that probably went to grad school and got an MBA or spent time just practicing business have probably seen this book many years ago, right, Frank? And probably
Yep.
you read this over 10 years ago.
Sure.
And it was a new concept to me. I think we were in Barnes & Noble on State Street.
We were.
And we were just walking through the bookstore, and I see this book, and I was looking for something new to read. And from the business perspective, and I saw this book, start leafing through, looked at a few ratings, and I said, okay, this one. And that was the first day that I don't know if you remember that.
I do, because I was over in that little historical section that I like to stalk with all those books that tell you about the history of every
Yeah.
neighborhood.
You know they closed up.
I know.
But that's how I got introduced to this book, so very luckily stumbled upon it. And once I started reading it, it became very apparent and very clear that many of the principles and things that we talk about today are things that many of you guys are doing in your businesses or need to be doing in your business, and are great principles. It's just piecing them all together and following them, and the execution of them is how the things that we're going to talk about today.
Okay, and so I guess my first question is, after having been in business for, at that point, what, 15,
Yep.
16 years?
Yep.
How difficult was it to take that set of business practices and get everybody to change?
Yeah. I'm going to back up even further from that.
Okay.
So every year that we continue to grow and go from 10 people to 20 to 30 to 50 to 100 to now 250 full-time individuals right here in America, there's a different level of growing stages that you go through and things differently that you have to now change related to your organization.
Okay.
And so constantly every year, and we started this more than 10 years ago, we have a summit that we go off at the beginning of the year right around King's birthday and start talking about what it is that we're doing right, what it is that we're doing wrong, what do we need to be working on, and so forth.
Okay.
So bringing it back to what you're talking about, it's forever change.
Gotcha.
That's built into our system.
Okay.
And we actually tried a couple of other practices for disciplines of execution. There's
Okay.
one that's a Covey
Yep.
Oh,
Stephen
Stephen
Covey.
Covey.
Yep.
Yeah.
a type of system that didn't stick. We didn't necessarily have a champion. Some of those things inside of that still are a part of our organization,
Okay.
but we didn't necessarily have one champion to carry it all the way through.
Okay.
And many of these things, most companies, most people come up with great ideas and great practices, but carrying them through, the discipline of it, a culture of discipline that they talked about here,
Okay.
is really the key to success for anything that you put in place.
Okay. Okay.
And that I would say is one of the crucial pieces related to getting an organization, no matter what size it is, to transition to being able to follow some of these things. Like the first principle here is level 5.
Okay.
Level 5 leadership.
And what is level 5? Because as you talk, I'm going to share this information in case somebody forgot their notepad, so that our viewers and listeners get
Before
a
I
good.
jump into the level 5, Frank,
Okay.
did you want to share anything related nuggets to about the book?
No,
Before we get going?
I like everything you said, and the way that it plays out inside of our organization is that we hold each other accountable. And those
Huge
are
word.
opportunities that we have not just once a month, or once a year where we do our offsite, but it's every other week where we meet and we put each other on blast. And it's like we decided we said we were gonna do this. How come it's not happening? And we do a little bit of finger pointing, and it's okay.
Because I
And
guess.
we grew to that.
Okay.
Correct.
Because I think that's almost. I can't imagine not doing it. Those uncomfortable conversations are where the growth happens, right?
But you would be surprised in many large corporations, it ain't happening. And Jack Welch, GE had to write a book about candor
Okay.
because people want to sit in a room and act as if it's not going on, and nothing's progressing as a result. And so we're entrepreneurial enough, family friendly enough, know each other well enough that we can let each other know this ain't working.
Okay.
How come it didn't get done?
Mm-hmm.
And there were some items that we agreed to at last year's summit that we're still grappling with,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
so yeah.
Trying to make it happen. So level 5 leadership. Level 5 leadership is when you have an individual that is humble enough to know that they don't know everything, understanding enough that they're not smart enough to do everything, and really educated enough to really be inclusive of everyone. That is a level 5 leader.
Okay.
That
That's a big ticket.
individual is not self-serving.
Mm-hmm.
That individual is not looking for the me show, their name in lights. Oftentimes you see that person stepping back and giving credit to someone else.
Okay.
That person often isn't the one that's standing out there speaking, doing all of the rah-rah, because they understand lifting up the embodiment of the whole is the most important.
Okay. Now, so I'm going to try to bridge together what Frank said and what you said. Level 5 leadership then, so for somebody who's never run a corporation, not even, the restaurant wasn't necessarily a corporation.
Yes, it was.
So I'm going
But
to,
it was.
well, I
Yes,
guess it was an LLC.
Absolutely it was.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how big or how small, these same things exist. When you
Okay.
want to create a business, no matter how big, say you only want to be a business of 10 people,
Okay.
you got a business of 15 to 30 people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. All of these same principles apply, and all of these same things exist. You have to create that structure.
So would it be fair to say the you
Mhm.
as the one who's responsible for that payroll
Mhm.
have to embody those principles and characteristics, and then you then seek out people in positions like Frank
Yep.
and your other executives
Yep.
who also embody that.
Absolutely.
So let me just be the devil's advocate. You adapt this a couple years ago,
Mhm.
and after doing it a different way, how do you, for the people that didn't possess the humility and the ability to listen, how does that weed itself out?
Great question. So, part of what the book talks about is you help people lead, getting the right people on the bus and getting the wrong people off the bus. So, you could even I've had this conversation with some individuals and told them, this probably isn't the right place for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably another place that you're gonna be happy at, and there's probably another person we can hire that's gonna be happy in our space.
Okay.
But you, not you being a bad person, but just you aren't the right person for us.
Okay.
And so let's figure out how to exit you in a comfortable way where you're not in strife, because I could terminate you today.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go out and find another place that maybe you have the right seat on the bus at that place, but this is the wrong place for you. And we had several individuals that we exited over that period of time. I could probably tell you 50.
Wow.
We had a lot of attrition.
How long does that process take, and how do you identify those people? You mentioned I love the concept of the bus, right? Because either you're on the bus or you're not.
Yeah.
Does it matter where you sit on the bus?
Yes. Yes, it matters for that person because not all people can have the same seat. You can't do the same thing that Frank can do, and Frank can't do the same thing that you can do, but both of you can be on the bus.
Okay.
You just have to be doing the right things.
For each person's skill set or for the
Correct.
organization.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly, and that's one of the major key pieces is your talent may be at doing this, but you may be sitting and doing a different thing on it for the organization.
Gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
And so you need to move to the right seat. So your talents will shine and the organization will benefit more because you're doing the right thing for the organization.
Okay, so now let's put it in an international perspective, because I know that you have offices in Nigeria. I know that you have offices in Bermuda. I know that you have offices in many states in our United States. How does that translate to those cultures and or
Good question.
places outside of how we do business in America?
It's not easy because Nigeria, you're dealing with a 7 to 6 hour time difference. Right now it's 7 hours, and so it's very difficult for them to be on our conference calls, video calls, meetings, and so it's up to the leadership, and we call it a group leader, generally, to really push these thoughts and ideas and discipline down to those folks. That are on our teams, and so that's exactly what we're doing on an everyday basis. I'm generally up at 4 a.m. I'm talking to people about maintaining discipline. Bermuda's a little bit easier. That's 2 hours, but still, we've learned that even though it's a more developed economy, it still ain't developed in a lot of ways.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of things that are not going on that if you're not careful, you will assume are going on that need to be addressed. And so it's a constant struggle and battle, but it's fun and we enjoy it, right? The good news about international is that we choose where we want to go and do business. We get a lot of offers and opportunities.
Okay.
And so our team decides together what we should go and chase. That includes our legal counsel, our chief legal counsel, whom I'm talking to right now about an agreement,
Okay.
and our CFO, tax.
That agreement's not done.
Still ain't done. The other one done.
You
Now
heard
we
it here
own
first.
another one. So it's it's a constant process, but we enjoy it.
Okay, so I guess it sounds difficult to me because you have given me the perspective of, the restaurant was a 30-person operation, but you're talking about upwards 300 people in different countries and states. So how does that go down to the least of those and figuring out where those people fit and or don't? Is that a group leader thing or?
It's all on your leader, so having that level 5 leader understands that this information has to get disseminated to everyone.
Okay.
And there has to be certain parameters put in place for everyone, and there has to be a certain system of checking and understanding for everyone. So
Okay.
having that level 5 leader, like we talked about, is crucial. And then like the next item that we're gonna talk about is first who, then what,
Okay.
which is the next item that we're talking about, which is understanding what your resources are and then understanding what you can sell. And so first it is that, okay, I have Frank and Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
and those individuals have these talents. Now I can figure out what. You don't go and figure out what you're gonna do and then try and make you guys execute that.
That sounds like probably what a lot of people do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
All
but
the
then
time.
can I tell a little of our business?
Which business?
Like when you tried to make me do Microsoft Excel, and I was like, I don't get it. Remember that? Look, I'm sorry, y'all. I digress. So, like, my talent is really creative and all marketing, and he kept trying to make me do it in a spreadsheet, and I was like, I actually don't get it, and I know I'm smart. Okay,
You wanted to have the business.
I know, but I was like, can you just do it, or can you just make me a template and I just put the numbers in? And he's like, no, you can learn how to do QuickBooks, Lightbook. I was like, shoot, I needed me a Brian before Brian. That's kind of what you mean, right? Because I was really good at what I was doing, but not the Excel, right? Sort of. Is that kind of like
to be an entrepreneur. The first step in being an entrepreneur is you have to know how to do all things and understand everything about what that business is doing. You not knowing the numbers wasn't going to be okay with me.
Okay. So I was on the bus, but I was not in the right seat.
That seat on the bus wasn't your glory seat.
That was not my forte, and we ain't talking about Matt. Okay. So I'm just trying to be transparent, because there's somebody out there that's as smart as I am, not to mention good looking, but it can't do spreadsheets. Okay.
The key is you can't do everything. That's why you have other people. I mean, this may sound harsh to some of you, but there's oftentimes I'm sitting in meetings and I tell people, if you can't do your job, then I have to do it for you. Therefore, I don't need you.
That's real talk, though, in my Chicago voice, because yeah.
But I've said that a lot of times. And then many of those people have been exited, because if you can't do it, there's no reason for you to be sitting in that seat. Maybe we went to a different seat.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay, so we've got a level 5 leader, humble, determined, and then
sees the big picture,
okay,
talented,
okay,
all of those things, and able to really plan out and do what they need to do to create a plan for success.
and understands accountability.
Yeah.
From the top.
From day one.
Okay, and then we talked about getting people on the bus.
First who,
First two.
then what?
Then what? Okay. So we're going to take a break. I like first two. That sounds spiritual to me for some reason. I can find God in any sentence, even a cuss word. He really is. Even when my potty, I won't have a potty mouth today because this is business. However, your mic's on. No, I'm just kidding. This is the Book of Dawn. We're talking about how you get from good to great. The book, written by Jim Collins, tested, proven, and now tested and proven to be a well concept for the Millhouse engineering and construction family, right? We are joined by the chairman and CEO, Wilbur C. Millhouse III, Frank Martin, president of business development all around the globe. We'll be right back. He never told you he tried to make me do the QuickBooks, did he?
That's good.
Had me like, long hand? Okay, so now you're gonna do first who then what? It's just not this, right? The metaphor.
Right. So we're gonna
Get the right
hit
people.
that more. After that is confronting the brutal facts.
Okay. Yikes, that sounds scary.
Well, that's like you talked about, you have to be real with people.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to say, hey, this is what we are. We suck at this.
Okay.
Should we be doing it?
Oh, I've heard you say that.
I think you can use the example of Millhouse University if you want.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that could be one
Great
where
ideas. Great.
we struggled, and for years, you're like, we have no training. what do we do? Why don't we have training? And so now finally we've inched ahead a little bit. We on first base at least, but
Right.
you know, that's an example of something that
Confronting the brutal fact.
yeah. And it was
Believe. When we believe, the Bible says all things are possible.
Come on through here.
I better leave that alone. I feel my
Preaching
seat.
already.
You
I
feel
feel
it?
C coming.
So be anxious for nothing. Even the Bible says, don't worry about
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
In Matthew 6:33, it says, don't worry about anything, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other
these
things be added unto you. So we're here to encourage you.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
You prove me wrong. This ain't a regular love, babe. It's that waking out your sleep with me massaging your feet, babe. It's that anything you want, I'm only here to please you, baby. You're in my command. Your kiss sends me a shot of dopamine. Oh no, I never had an interest in us until I met you. And I don't know if it's real or is it just a phase I go through, but I feel that it's true. We don't need no labels, babe. What we got is something different. We don't need no labels, babe. Lady, we don't need no labels to show that what we have is something special.
Is an open book. So, hey, Tiger. She said, we're lit, big eyeballs. We're listening. The mics are on. I said, open book. That's why Maze called me. That was the whole reason. He was like, I want you to be who you are. I said, do you really, brother? Welcome back. You're tuned into the Book of Dawn, 9 a.m. every day. Some days, well, I don't want to have this argument with Maze today about my days off this week, so I'm going to leave that alone. 9 a.m. today, for sure. We're here till 11 o'clock, joined by Wilbur C. Millhouse, founder, chairman, CEO of Millhouse Engineering and Construction, and Frank Martin, the president of development. We are talking up on a Millhouse Monday. That's the last Monday of every month. Great ideas at Millhouse with one L. If you thought you sent one and you never got a reply, make certain there's only one L in the word Millhouse, Milhouse, because we may have never gotten it. Every idea is a good idea, and Jim Collins has created a book of that can assist businesses who are at a space of needing to make a transition from good, or should you want to be great, from good to great. He uses the metaphor of a bus. The bus is the business is a bus, and the leader is the bus driver. And I'm sitting by the bus driver, right? Yeah. And the first one of the captains. You probably got a front seat.
definitely.
So I guess I'm going to go out of order just for a second. Mm-hmm. Do all the leaders and executives sit on the front, or do some sit on the back?
It depends on where their talent is at and where they're needed.
Okay. All right. Well, you answered my question. So you talked.
So the back may not be the back as we traditionally think of the back, or the bottom.
Okay.
You have to think of things as, where do we need good structure, good foresight, good individuals that can help touch multiple people and help move the agenda forward.
I like that because we get the people who snuck on the bus on 87th, or the ones that aren't as worthy so
Those
to speak.
could be your closers, your finishers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are making sure that at the end of the day, we teed it up,
Okay.
but it still needed to be finished and packaged and a bow put on it. And those are the folks that are just as important as the folks that are leading the ship.
That's actually inspiring because everybody's not a CEO and everybody is not a president, but their value is still
Very important.
makes the bus run, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell me, you said first who, then what? What is, explain that to me.
First the who, the people,
Okay.
and then what? The things that you do.
Okay.
So if we want to design structures, the first is we have to have a good, talented structural engineer
Okay.
that we can market, that we can win work with, so forth. Then we go out and decide, okay, we have that structural engineer. What does that structural engineer know how to do? Is it bridges? Is it buildings? Is it walls? Is it whatever? Then the what is, we can go and then sell that.
Okay.
Follow me?
Yeah.
So if it's a bridge guy,
Okay.
we don't want to take a bridge guy that's good at designing bridges and say, let's go build buildings or design buildings, because that's not their specific strength.
Okay.
So the who, I have a bridge guy, designer, structural licensed engineer. I should design bridges.
Okay. Okay.
That's the what.
Okay. And you have to do
If
that.
you have a cake maker, you don't try and make your cake maker be a AutoCAD expert.
Gotcha. So then this then connects directly to your, I'm going to say for don't human resources. You call it people and culture.
Yep.
So this directly is connected to the entire hiring process. then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's all intertwined. And we're going to get to flywheel, but we talk about talent, individuals that are entrepreneurial. And
Okay.
we talked about self-motivated individuals doing work very well
Okay.
with quality and timeliness.
Okay.
And then we talk about the next item on the list is talking about that work is profitable.
Okay.
Then we market it, then we work, and then we get paid.
Cha-ching. I'm sorry.
That is
Okay.
our flywheel,
Okay. And so that sounds like
which we'll get to as well.
so let me so right first who, then what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You example civil engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me
And
reverse.
we could use something else. We
Let
could
me
use-
let me ask you this first. So you are the leader of the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be fair to say that your presidents and you said group leader is president and group leader is different? That's different, right?
Can be the same thing, but it can be different as well.
So are those like micro businesses?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that I
So
understood.
we have 10 different businesses.
Okay,
Development is one. Aviation is one.
okay,
Civil structural is one. Gas, power, construction, MEP, snow, environmental.
okay. And so those micro businesses, the leaders of those and the executives of those all are guided by the principles of this and your flywheel. Is that
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So you got the bus driver, you got the bus, you're identifying the people on the bus. What's the next step in that process? Or is that just once you get the right people from the top to the bottom in that?
Well, you have to identify that and go and verify that you have the right people.
Okay.
The first who and then the what, and then that's what you're selling. Then another major principle is confronting the brutal facts.
Okay.
So you have to go back and assess the things that you're doing
Okay.
and say, hey, are we doing these things well or not? Why not? What's going on in our organization as to why that is not the case?
Is money always the driver for that,
No.
or profitability is always? So what are the other? What are some other
Profitability
things?
is incredibly important.
Okay.
Don't. Incredibly important. But it's not the only thing.
Okay. Well, I would think because in your international business, it's a long process from from getting. I know you guys have been working in Nigeria for a number of years, and
Correct. And it is determined by the strategy that we've decided to undertake. So if you're going to own an asset and own a business that is driven by, in this case, energy and power, there's a process to getting licensing, permitting, environmental. All those things can take years, and they did take years for us in Nigeria. And so you just have that.
good to great. At any point in this process, because we're talking about what to go in that may not be it.
We have plug projects. The first work area, we actually did pull the plug.
Okay.
Because that was after we had spent over a year doing due diligence, negotiations.
Shout outs to Aquai Bomb.
Exactly. And the deal at the end of the day didn't make sense. And so we had to pull the plug. And so you have to be willing to cut your losses at any given time in spite of the money that you've invested, the time, the strength, and all of that. And that's critical to any business. And as you guys are thinking about entrepreneurship and starting something or continuing with something, don't love it, be passionate about it, but don't be married to it. At the end of the day, be willing to cut it at some point and move on because it just may not work.
My favorite statement to Frank is don't fall in love with the deal.
That's hard. That's got to be hard, right?
I mean, it's just a fact. I mean, as much as we may want it, you cannot fall in love with it because then you start acting in ways that doesn't allow you to be successful.
So that basically is what you were saying when you said the brutal fact. Like,
correct.
That's kind of the same, right? Not falling in love with it.
You have to do an assessment, and you have to sit down and talk. What is really going on? Similar to what I mentioned to you earlier. We really dig down deep into what it is that's going on in our operation and saying, this is wrong, this needs to be fixed. How are we going to fix it? So one of those things that we saw that was very painful and missing in our operation recently, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, was that we didn't have individuals that had a system of success or being able to system that would help them get there.
Okay.
We do as fast as we're able to get new talent, the who, to be able to do. We never had anything internal teaching the current who we have. And so we made a decision to create Millhouse University. So MU was created and born. Growing pains, yet again, of starting something new inside of, we're not educators.
Sure.
A culture that we just don't do these types of things. So we actually just hired an educator. To come in, help develop a curriculum, help develop all of that. We've gotten a long way this past year and really putting on classes for our project managers and doing some of the things, but it's nowhere close to where I want it to be. And so that's something heavily and we're seeing the good side of having consistency, the book talks about heavily ability.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that being talked about as well. Same beat. Everybody's
Sure.
doing the same thing. Everybody, you don't have one-offs over here doing their own thing.
Right.
Everybody is following a certain plan, a certain method, and a certain means.
Back to the old school. 3 of these things belong together. Remember that? Oh, was that electric company?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Millhouse University. So if I worked for the firm and I worked in snow or like whatever the people do the snow thing. Yeah, that. If I did that and I had the time off and saw that there was a class about, I don't know, CAD, could I take that class?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're
Absolutely.
kind of like cross-training.
You can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we like people to do that, actually, because we're a firm that's fairly large, and what you have in business is some areas will be very popular or very hot for a period of time, say 10 years.
Okay.
And then over that period of time, they will slow down in another area, will pick up and be very busy. What we try and teach, so when those things happen, doing this to doing that very easily versus as well as the fact that you have, I'm versatile in what I do. We had one young lady that was on she was very, very specific to design foundations for power lines.
Okay.
And I was like, there's a whole world of other structural types of things that you can learn. We have this work today, but eventually,
Sure.
so it's good to be talented in some other things or at least know how to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And she said no. She only wanted to do that. Eventually, we helped her exit because in our culture, it's good to have multiple talents and not just be so singular that when that piece of work ends, then what do we do with you? Right?
Let me put it in common terms. What the morning after walk? What do they call that? When you leaving the tail.
It's the walk of shame.
It's the walk of shame. Yeah, you see, we
it.
watch the same TV shows. Listen, you just made my heart jumped a little beat.
That's
out
what
of
your folks have to have, and
get
that's
off
what
the
they
bus.
have to come into. Unfortunately, see, and she came in when we weren't really following this and understanding this, and one of our leaders told her that that's all she would have to do.
Oh yeah, and that was not the who
I
either.
scolded that leader for ever telling anybody that they would only have to do one thing.
Come on now you preach.
Because that's not being a leader. I mean, if you go into an institution, and depending on how big it is, the smaller it is, you need to be able to do more stuff, right? So when we first started the company back 19 years ago, my early folks, who some of them are still with us, they knew sometimes they may have to take out the garbage.
Come on,
They may have to do
Amaze is
this.
loving this conversation right now, by the way.
They may have to do a whole lot of stuff because we don't have the money nor the ability to afford all of this other stuff. So if we don't do it, it doesn't get done. And so depending on the size of your operation will depend on how many talents and how many other things you have to pick up as talented or do. And then as you grow, you can start to say, well, I would rather be doing more of this than other things. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want you to do.
Okay.
I mean, we have one leader who was over our marketing and business area. And eventually, after he led that group for so long, he said, hey, I've been shepherding this because we needed someone to step in. Mm-hmm. He said, but I would really like to be over here on the technical side, because that's really more forte, and that's really what I'm interested in. That's really what I'm good at, and which we'll talk about in Hedgehog. That's really where I want to drive the profit. And I said, he wants to move seats on the bus. And he's saying he doesn't love this. He's been doing this.
Sure.
He doesn't love it.
Okay.
And I respected that immensely.
Okay. Yeah.
And we moved him. We transitioned him because it just made great sense for the company as well.
Listen. Y'all know what this is? Old school. That's how you open the bus on the CTF. That's how you open the door.
That's the old school.
Yeah, well,
My mom used to drive the bus.
yeah, I know that move.
I used to sit on the bus with her.
Look, and then you pull the thing. Listen, get on this bus. Get on the bus, the Woofdable bus. Y'all join the Woofdable bus. And in case you didn't hear, you got to be able to take out the garbage. I know if you ever worked for me, you took out the garbage and cleaned the toilets and washed the dishes and did everything else that I did, including shovel the snow. This is the Book of Dawn. We are talking about learning how to be great. Don't just be good. Good is good, but why not be great? Wilbur Millhouse, Frank Martin, the Book of Dawn. Share, like, and rain on me, even in front of my husband. Make it rain. We'll be right back.
WIIFTVPM.
Chris the Critic Relationship Hour with Gina B. Why you are not married. Number one, you ain't all that. I know that's hard for y'all to swallow. I don't look as good as my 22-year-old self. People need to realize that. You just ain't all that. And I get it. I got this master's degree. I went to this school, that school. I worked hard for this job, for this house. And then she over there got that man, and you don't have one. Men are very simple creatures. So, ladies, for you very accomplished ladies, I got some advice for them.
What's that?
I always say it like this. You can write this one down. Be a kitten, not a cat. What does that mean, Chris?
What does that mean?
You ever played with a kitten? It's real friendly. It almost acts like a puppy. And you want to play with it. You want to look at the little kitty. It just makes you feel good. Now, have you ever seen an adult cat? When it feels like it, it might rub against your leg and move away. But is that men like kittens?
Kittens will play with anybody. A cat is particular.
Listen, what did we learn? Men are very simple creatures.
Right.
You can fool us. We want you to laugh at our dumb jokes. So all you super smart women out there, you good-looking women, you see a guy you like, you guys do make it out on a date, he actually pays for the date. When you're actually with that person, the dialogue is happening, the dinner is happening, you say, okay, this might work, this might work. It would help if you act a little blind.
Oh my God, Becky.
I mean, you're going to hear me say that a lot. I mean, be nice to
So
him. If you hear the worst joke ever, but if you sort of like them, laugh at it. There you go. Hey, it's a lot of married women out there. If we got any married women chiming in, if I'm telling a lie,
I want a fake laugh.
Let me know. Right.
What you're saying is that we should cater to the male ego, and that's what's ultimately going to get us married.
I'm first saying recognize that I think some of us, more women than men, look in the mirror. You ever seen a little lion look in the mirror and see somebody real big? They see somebody a little more fine than what they are. And I'm not calling anybody ugly, so I'm not here to bash anybody.
Let's look at Middle America, okay? Middle America is not attractive.
They're not?
Middle America is largely married.
Okay, I think we're on the same page then. People we get stuck to reality shows sometime and think we're supposed to have, I got a degree in a house, so I'm supposed to have Idris Elba or his twin.
Well, I mean, have you noticed, okay, so you remember your friends from high school, right? And you remember how they had all of these qualifications for, if she's going to lock me down, she got to be this, that. She's got to have an ass like that.
That's all we really looked at. Stop right there. That's really... What are men? Simple creatures. We want to be fed. We want you to laugh at us, give us some, and that's it. To get us.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20-piece. 'Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that grown on. Why you gotta look so good, 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 good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that grown on. Why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I want a check. 'Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me I'll let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put your grown on.
Why I gotta look so good? Why I gotta look so good? With my hair. Oh, we're live. Slick, I don't know. In my head, he wrote that for me. Why I gotta look so good?
Hey, bye.
Yeah. When we
fight.
walk into the room,
Don't
they be
fight.
looking at you like that, don't they? Why she gotta look so good?
Don't fight it.
Welcome back. You all look good this morning, and I hope we all look good. Thank you for tuning into the Book of Dawn. This is Let's Get Down to Business, the last Monday of every month, where we have valuable business conversations. They offer great advice to you if you're in business, want to start a business, or are in a quirky space with business, talking about taking yourself from good to great. We've covered a couple disciplines. We know what a level 5 leader is. You have to be like the abominable snowman. You have to be strong. You have to have humility, and you have to be determined, right?
Sure.
And then
Talented.
Talented.
It's important.
And you have to do the who and the what, right? First who, then what?
Yep.
Now how do we did that? We got the level 5. We got the who and the what. We confronted the brutal facts. Listen, what are we doing? Does it make sense? It's not always, if it's dollars, it makes sense. There are other ways around that.
Yep.
And now, where are we?
Hedgehog.
Not to be confused
Hedgehog
with
council.
the thing I saw in Arizona. What was that
One
thing?
on Martin.
Remember the thing? The thing in Arizona?
Yeah.
It was like a warthog or something. I don't know. Hedgehog, razorback, pigs. It was something.
That was a pig.
That's
not a hedgehog.
Oh, okay.
That was
A hedgehog is the
form of a
thing.
pig.
With the hair. Go ahead. What's the hedgehog?
Hedgehog concept.
Hedgehog concept.
Is when you take 3 major principles.
Okay.
First, what can you be best in the world at?
Okay.
What do you like doing? And
Okay.
what can you make money at?
Okay.
You take those 3 principles. If you had 3 circles and you had all of those 3 circles interlinking, the middle of that is where your hedgehog exists. Where all 3 coincide.
Gotcha. Okay.
So anything that you do should be centered in your hedgehog, should be centered in what you like to do, what you're good at, and what you make money at.
What you
because
like to do.
Not the things that you're good at and the things that you like to do necessarily means you're going to make money at it.
And we have a unique opportunity there when you look at our international business, right? Because one of the things that we see a lot when we're abroad is incompetence. I mean, you literally see a lot of companies that don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
And but you look at that in the context of we're coming from the United States.
Okay.
We are by far the greatest country in the world.
Okay.
And we have all the pieces in place. We've got competitive and an extremely competitive environment where folks are forced every day to bring their best to the table.
Okay.
And if you can't compete, you're out.
Okay.
It just doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in a lot of emerging markets, be it Caribbean, Africa, and other places. And so it's a unique opportunity for us to bring the things that we do best here in the U.S., take that show on the road. And that's why we're excited about it, because we can see now there are other challenges and there are reasons that things are what they are abroad. It could be politics. It could be, again, bad execution. It could be a lack of passion, care less about reputation, a lot of different reasons. But through all that, it's an opportunity for us to knock the cover off the ball and do some good things in those communities where we do business. And if I had to give it an underlying purpose from our perspective, it's reducing poverty. Because things that we're doing abroad truly do reduce poverty by creating a middle class, creating opportunity that does not exist and probably would not exist. I wish you could see. We try to, let people see some of the things that we see on a daily basis over there. But in terms of hedge,
that borehole blew my whole understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like a hole in the ground.
It's unbelievable, the stuff that you see. So it's a unique opportunity for us reduce poverty in emerging markets and places. And then we're on top of it, we're black. Mm-hmm. So we know that other folks have been taking from our continent for a very long time and not giving back. Sure. And so our one of our core beliefs as we do business on the continent is that African Americans are a requirement when you look at that continent in terms of development. Gotcha. Because we actually care about our people.
Gotcha.
We're not there just to take and go back and spend. We're actually there to produce and also create opportunity that potentially others have not done, quite frankly, over the last however many hundreds of years. And so, again, a unique opportunity for us. And so as we look at our hedgehog, we're sitting there saying, we're passionate, we're excited, it's difficult, it's hard. There are deals where we look at stuff and say, that doesn't make sense, that ain't gonna happen. This one we'll chase and we'll give it a timeline. So all of that is in there, but the overall overarching purpose is fantastic. It's in line with Millhouse ENC US and adding that additional component on top.
So if you are like me and you're visual, this says if you cannot be the best in the world at your core business, then your core business cannot form the basis of a hedgehog. And that goes back to what you said about what do you do best? Like what is basically the lifeline, right? And so if you want, I don't know if you guys can see this. So we're gonna draw together. You know, y'all out there, y'all like vision board stuff. So it's like a spiral graph. You make a circle on top of circle, and you make another one. And then this dark circle here this the hedgehog, right? Yeah.
Good teach.
See, I did teach on Jim, but
It was fantastic.
So,
absolutely. So that dark person in the middle is the hedgehog. That's where all of those three circles coincide. And the key is you can make money at something and you can be very good at it, but you may not like doing it.
Okay.
So the problem with that is it's not sustainable.
Okay. Okay.
You won't continue to be able to get your people motivated to get up every day and say, yes, this is why I'm coming to work. So that's why that'll die. If you're not making money, obviously it's going to die. If you're not good at it, you're not going to get business.
Okay. Okay. And so that then ties back though into the MU. So
correct.
So I hear the investment piece, investing in culture and community, but also investing in the culture and community of the people that help bring this to life, as in your team members.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And then we go into a culture of discipline is next.
Okay.
Which you got to have. Remember earlier on I said that cadence of accountability and discipline to follow the plan. Now you've set the plan, you've created a hedgehog, you know what you do well, you know what you want to be doing because you like it, you know you can make money at it. Now how do you consistently do that? Mm-hmm. And how do you consistently follow all of the different other parameters around the level 5 leader versus who then what, confronting your brutal facts, in your hedgehog, inside of your flywheel, which you create a flywheel. It's a wheel that as it builds momentum, it starts to move faster and faster. A flywheel is what are the things, principles that keep your business running.
Okay.
And as I mentioned to you guys, our 7 are having entrepreneurial leaders, having self-motivated, talented people, having success, doing the work well, quality, having profitability, being able to market and showcase those things, being able to win new, interesting work, and being able to get paid from our clients in a timely fashion. That's actually our 7.
Okay.
And so for us, getting paid in a timely fashion is a big, big, big deal because many of our governmental clients, many, not all, they will have me waiting 120 days to get paid. So I've had a person working on a project for a month, and then my clock starts ticking an additional 120 days, which is 3 months.
Wow.
4 months.
Sound like the
so
brother concept.
now I've waited 5 months to get paid for work that I did back in August. So some of my governmental clients I'm getting paid today for work I did back in July, August. It's a long waiting period.
Yeah.
And so having clients that will pay you in shorter amount of time is invaluable. So a few of my other clients that are not governmental will pay me in 45 days.
Okay.
Total.
But that goes back, or correct me, does that go back to when you have those talented people on the bus that are seeking out who you do business with and how you do business with them? Is that a part of what they would be?
Correct.
Okay.
So the individuals that you pick will orchestrate, or they're talented at doing certain things. If you have people that are only talented at doing things that happen to be mostly public sector work for mostly clients that pay a long time, then that's going to continue to propagate a problem.
Okay.
If you pick talented individuals that do work that with clients that have a very much shorter window and they can do that work really good, then you're changing your paradigm, and that fits better in our flywheel.
Okay.
That we feel that it's better, and then it fits better to me in the hedgehog because I evaluate making money. Are you making a little bit of money, or you don't have to work hard, you work smart. So that is part of the hedgehog as well. So the wind that makes the flywheel move are all these pieces, essentially, like the who and the what and the level 5s, and that is the wind that pushes my little
little dark spot that makes it actually turn, right? Would that be fair to say? That's what makes the flywheel turn?
All of those 7 things that everybody has to be simultaneously pushing on all of them.
Which then leads back to accountability.
Correct.
Okay.
Cadence of discipline.
Puts a heavy shoulder on your group leaders and your executive team.
Correct. But it should be everybody's responsibility on down the line. Group leaders, directors, sector leaders, project managers, talented, self-motivated people.
Okay. Which then gives, you mentioned one of your leaders saying to you, hey, this is where I feel like my talents can best be used. I think what I wanted to mention that again because I think some of us are afraid in positions to say, sometimes you take a job because you have to, right?
Exactly.
And then sometimes you do a job because you don't want the $12 stimulus check, right? And so you're at Amazon, right?
Right. No doubt.
And so
sometimes you take a position because you're getting in. You're getting in the door. We do that with our clients all the time.
But from what you said, I think what I want to make mention of is creating an atmosphere where people can feel comfortable saying, hey, look, I know I'm doing this, but I'm really good at this. Mm-hmm. Give me a shot at it. I don't know that that's necessarily all business or all corporation, but the fact that it is, you're able to say, hey, I can keep doing this, but I guarantee you if you put me over here and let me show myself, I can be stronger and bring added value.
Sure. The great part related to this individual in this particular situation was he did well at what he was doing.
Okay.
And earned his stripes to say, hey, I know this position needs even more things, and I'm not that right person. Excuse me, for that.
Gotcha.
And he was comfortable enough in his own skin to say, I can't take it there, which is an amazing fact in a person. Actually, the book talks about a person who came to that realization, who was an owner of a company and made a decision not to lead a certain group because he wasn't the best person for that position, took another position which was secondary, wasn't in corporate or executive leadership, stayed an owner, but they put themselves in the right place on the bus.
Yeah, I going back to the beginning piece, the level 5 leadership, which starts with the owner or the visionary, is giving people an opportunity to say, hey, listen, I can do this, but I could be better used in a space like this. I say it a third time because I think that I just want people to hear that there are places that you can be hired that have a level 5 leader and other level 5 leaders that are welcoming and have the humility to say, okay, we might have put that person in the wrong position that time, or they took that, but they can grow and go other places. I wanted to reiterate that, obviously, because I think that many of the people that are listening, I know that we have a lot of supporters who are in business, like Robin Patrice. There's a lot of businesses. Tenille Jackson deals with a lot of companies in Bronzeville. I think that it's important for them to hear that, having focus and having a concept, even if it's a small. I even myself didn't realize that I could apply good to great in the restaurant industry, even though I often talk about 2 table servers and big group servers. I never put it in a corporate sense. And so I just think that that's important to mention again. So if you had to encapsulate how this good to great, these principles have changed your company, how would you put that into words? How applying Hedgehog and the flywheel and disciplined thought, how has that been a benefit to Millhouse Engineering?
Absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't be continuing to do it The key is it's all about the evolution. I'm always looking for ways for us to be better. And this is one of the tools in which has helped us really see the light and see very methodical ways to get better. Going from that culture of discipline where you have structure, you have manuals put in place, you have things that should be followed. The next step after that is basically the technological accelerator, which now you can potentially develop something on the technology side to utilize to help you even progress even faster.
Okay.
And so we haven't even gotten to that point yet.
Wow.
We're still at the stage of building all of those manuals, setting up our Millhouse University, setting up all of our processes, and having to follow them, which we'll be doing heavily this year and the next year. Once we get all of those things in place, then we'll wrap some technology around it where there's technology in place already, which if a person does or doesn't do a task, that I can be notified or you can be notified or 3 other people can be notified. Right now, there is checks and balances that have to happen manually from our leaders, which we think is important because it's early on. I want that engagement. But then we'll start wrapping technology around those things.
Well, yeah, and
then people can't hide. You can't run. And
Okay.
and then people, if a deadline or a submittal hasn't been made, somebody gets an email. And if it still hasn't been made in 2 more days, somebody higher up gets an email.
Okay.
And so notifications happen when you start using technology in different ways. And there's a couple off-the-shelf items that we could use, and then there's a couple of individuals that I've been talking to potentially develop something.
So, and that would be new technology then, right, basically?
If we develop something new.
Okay.
I'm not hugely in favor of that because it costs me more money.
Right. At a 120-day later pay, it makes sense. Why even is that? I don't even understand that. Like,
maybe we can get, and Carl Bird, he sent me a text, he said, maybe we can get the government institutions to start following this. I was like, whoa, efficiency.
Yeah, for sure. And so I already heard some of your stories. This 120-day is like 120 months for you, huh?
It is. I mean, but the good news is other emerging markets might not behave the same. So, for example, Bermuda, they actually pay faster than our governments pay.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually had our fastest response to an
because
invoice.
they wanted to make sure that
ever
they like us.
Yeah, I mean, so it was eye-opening because we were like, wait a minute.
What was it?
City of Chicago is
10 days?
It was 5 days.
5 days?
No way.
It was 5 days. They paid the invoice. So I mean, it's different, right? So when we looked at that, we said, okay, we need to do more business with them.
Absolutely.
Because they don't even wait 30 days to pay you. They pay you immediately.
So now that we've covered all of these, I know we're about to go to break, I believe. But when we come back, I think we're going to spend some time talking about how people can potentially, or some of the things that they need to put in place if they're thinking about doing international business.
Okay.
And then we'll get into that kind of heavily, but you can talk a little bit more about this if you want.
No, we can take a break. I hear my song in the background. And Brother Tucson, I say Tucson because I've been to the stage play, and that's how the little girl said, me and, in her mind, she said, me and Tucson. So I say it like the girl in For Color Girls. But anyway, Tucson said, hey, I am talented, self-motivated, and I'd love to talk more about how I could bring added value to your projects you're engaging in. I'm going to make sure I connect you, Tucson, and I want to find this for you. Okay? We'll be right back with the Flywheel Gang, the Book of Dawn.
When you're at the job, just taking a break, girl. Why you gotta look so good? In the club, turning up. Why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor, giving
WIFTBPM.
Shout out to the Bigs. They just wrapped up another edition of On the Soil. They talked to Eric Davis. I didn't know that brother was like all that cold.
I didn't either.
You know, Gino is the baseball guy, expert, right? So whatever he say, that's how I'm rolling. So just hearing how he's been talking about him since they actually scheduled that interview made me like looking like, how cold was this dude? It's legit.
Shout out to Dawn for the guest look.
Yeah, Dawn is the deal, G.
Guest look is outrageous.
Dawn is the plug.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
She is the plug.
Dawn is dead at the plug.
Gino and Mace, why are we being left out over here?
Well, that's not really true.
Okay, well, break it down for me.
Oh, a wise guy, eh?
What'd she do? She set us up with Scoop.
Okay.
I've had Scoop's number for a while.
Salute.
But even like my associates with, Don is like, boom. You know what I'm saying? So I be like, hey, let's get you on the show sometime. I'm like, yeah, let's set it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. We'll do. Don like, hey, yo, I need you on the show tomorrow. Like, okay.
Sit your $5 down before I make change.
Like, it's different with the big little sis, man.
The last of the Gambinos or something.
For real. She about that action. So shout out to Don, man. Shout out to the Book of Dawn.
WIFTBPM. Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. Yeah. Oh, baby, oh, darling. Whoa, 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 whoa. Your love must be some kind of drug, babe.
Mr. Millhouse said, "Is that your song too?" I said, "I like that one, but that other one, why you gotta look so good?" No, I gotta. Thank you, Slick. Welcome back. You're tuned into the Book of Dawn. Before we leave today, let me just say this: this process is obviously, we've learned, ever growing and evolving, and so there's a continuum of check and balances in the good to great process.
But there's several other books, obviously.
Yeah.
You got 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You got several.
That's one of your faves. Yeah. Real, a 20-second rabbit hole. I met this man, and he was like, and we, he knows I'm an avid reader. I think one of the first gifts he bought me was that book. And then we bought it for our children because they have it for teens and all different variations of it now. So we talked off break, and you guys, before we get out of here, want to share some of the international piece and process.
I thought it'd be great for us to have a dialogue and conversation, Frank, around what it is to create an international presence, business, so forth. Many individuals think about, hey, I have this service that I'm doing here, whether it's selling widgets or selling service, that they say, hey, I want to do work across the pond or internationally. They don't have a good idea of how to do that, what it's like. We talked a little bit about time for some of our projects, which could be different.
Right.
But I thought it'd be a great idea to kind of talk about all the things that we go through, why we pick certain places, some of the things we're thinking about, and all of that, because people kind of don't know. And just so you guys know, one of my huge thoughts, and I say this, my wife always talks about God and everything, I think the more of us African Americans especially go back to the West African countries, which we like to say Africa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just say Africa.
Put it all in the
it's
same.
several West African countries. We will help heal that land and lift it up with all of the experiences that we have that we sometimes take so for granted. Like Frank mentioned, once you get past the first layer of a business, and most of those businesses there's not a lot of talent, not a lot of talent. And I feel that those countries, multiple countries, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Nigeria, Togo, Congo, all of them, Cameroon, all of the places that all of our people came from, by the way,
right,
need us to come back and heal that land. But
correct.
Let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
International, doing business internationally. And it's important, back to Wilbur's point, to note that your skills and talents are needed abroad. And you have a competitive advantage just because you're in the U.S., doing business in the U.S., or have certain disciplines, even basic disciplines around how to get things done. Those skill sets don't always exist abroad, and so you can be competitive pretty much almost right away. It was funny when I first started we first started traveling to Africa, Nigeria. People used to ask me to bring goods, just load up, throw them in your suitcase, and bring them over here, and you can sell them. I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, I'm not buying goods wholesale and, going to sell them. They're like, wholesale, retail. It ain't even that. Just get it and bring it.
Didn't you even try and sell some hair over there?
I did. Yes, you can sell hair. This is a place where you can buy retail and sell retail, if that makes sense. I'm like, people would be, and a couple times, hey, go get me some, Bose speakers.
Yep.
Bring some Bose speakers, $150, $200. You mark them up 50, 100%, 200%, and flip it to local currency and make money. I mean, it's simple things like that you don't know and believe exist that actually exist. So would encourage you to take a look at those opportunities. I wanted to put some tools in your toolbox too. And some of these we really didn't utilize when we were just invited to Nigeria, and we just went in like gunslingers, thinking, hey, well, here's what we're gonna do. But there are a lot of resources that are available to you that you're already paying for through your tax dollars. So U.S. Department of Commerce here has an office in every state, and they connect you to local Americans that are government officials in any country that you would want to do business.
Yep.
So and I'll tell you up front, they're not going to give you a business strategy. They're going to tell you what to sell and what's going to work and what's not. But they're going to help you connect to officials or business people in those areas and in those countries that might be able to help you, that you can interact with and start to network with. That's one easy one, right? And they're itching to help you. Sometimes I don't even call them because they start calling me and emailing me about stuff that I'm not interested in. But you want to get on their radar. So U.S. Department of Commerce is one. Again, there's an office in every single state in the U.S., and they are focused. For example, we're looking at opportunities in Saudi Arabia. Yep. There's an internal engineer that worked in Saudi Arabia, and now he's working for us here in Chicago, and he's got some connections there. And he's like, "Hey, man, we can do this, we can do that, we can take Millhouse to Saudi Arabia." I'm like, "Okay, great." First thing I did was call the U.S. Department of Commerce and say, "Hey, listen, what's happening in Saudi Arabia? Who's doing business there? Who should we be connecting with? Who should we not be? Who should we be avoiding?" Those kind of basic things you can use them for, and they are happy to help. I mean, so
your
take a look
tax
at that.
dollars at work.
You're already paying for it.
Every country, practically in the world, It's amazing how much money we spend on that stuff. Don't get me started.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's millions and millions of dollars because, you know,
my taxes
there are people.
It's racks on racks on racks. Man, let's break it down.
They're stationed. They have an assignment in Ghana for 3 years. They making six figures to do whatever they do, and they
connect you.
They pop all them dollars in their pocket because everything is covered. All of their lifestyle is covered locally, and they're paid to.
That's a good job.
They're paid. It's a fantastic job, right? And they're paid to host you and help you connect you locally. So that exists, and that's something that we did not really look at when we first started traveling to Africa. One other item for Africa would be at the Africa Global Chamber of Commerce. I'm actually a board member, and it's a great organization. We run monthly events where we try to connect American companies with Africa, and it's not specific to any country within Africa. We're literally connecting you with just government officials, embassy folks, business people within any country in Africa, and so.
Is that any business? That's
any business.
Okay.
There is nothing. Again, everything that we do here in the U.S., even if it was just a restaurant, the U.S. name is valued abroad. I need to say that because, we see Chinese, we see Indians, we see everybody over there.
Yeah, ours is valued more.
But we are valued more than anybody, and we're not there. So if you could just say "Made in America" and everybody's flocking to it. Or it comes from America, and everybody's coming. So that just wanted to put that out there.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I put those in there. I actually would like to give you a marketing idea, you guys. I feel like Frank's Toolbox should be like a feature on your social media.
Sure.
With a little graphic with you and a Millhouse hard hat, a little toolbox or whatever. I'm just saying that might be, a little Frank's Toolbox. That was catchy the way you said that. Mm-hmm. So listen, a couple of you are asking questions like, where can I get the information from Frank and jobs? And I know you're hiring.
Yeah, I think we got 40 open roles right now.
Okay, so
www.millhouseinc.com.
I put it in there. I also put in great ideas at Millhouse Inc. If you have questions specifically for Frank or Mr. Millhouse, please just put that in the header. This is a question, whatever it's about, so that we can make certain that it gets the notice and goes to the right direction. If they are just great ideas, or if you have business questions about your particular business that you have or looking to open or seeking advice about, put that in there. We promise to answer everyone. This is not a generic dummy email, that there is a real live human who speaks English on the other side of that will respond to you. But again, they are hiring, millhouseinc.com. And if there are other topics that you'd like to talk about in our Millhouse Mondays, please share those, and they will get them to Mr. Millhouse, and I'm certain that he will do his best to make sure he accommodates the questions that you are.
That'd be great.
And we're going to flesh out post-pandemic this pre-Shark Tank, because somebody is actually going to sit in here with him. We can't do that now for obvious reasons, but somebody's going to sit in one of these seats with him. So don't stop sending your ideas, and don't stop sending your questions. One of the quotes, I have to say two things, right? One of them is from Jim Collins himself. I think it's fitting. It says, it reads, resiliency, not perfection, is the signature of greatness. Resiliency. So I think it goes to everything that we've discussed. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be resilient. To sometimes take just a baby step. Another thing that I want to tell you. I got three things for you today. Watch out now. Here comes the buggy. Why she got to look so good? No, I'm sorry. I had to say it one more time. A mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. Yeah, I'll take humility over arrogance any day, especially in a time such as these when we know that nothing's promised to us. So we always say, make sure you use your voice and your actions to be an impact. Do something, inconvenience yourself to be a blessing to somebody like Frank, like Mr. Millhouse. Because when I tell y'all, they told me that they wanted to build water wells, you know, the popcorn you bought in Nigeria. And I said, oh, okay, I'm thinking American. Until they sent me a picture of a hole in the ground.
Old school well.
With nothing wrapped around it. And people walking by it. And all I could do in my little naive American was like, you know, like how you throw up in your mouth.
Well, the well we're going to build won't be like that. It's
I know.
Be a pump connected to it to pump the water.
That's my point.
So I just want you to know we're not building.
No.
We're not going to drop the bucket.
They actually are.
The one you saw was the drop the bucket one. That
It made sense to me why they need them. Because my thing was germaphobe. Oh, my God. Anybody could walk by there and throw something in it.
Correct.
And they were like, hence why we want to build water wells.
That location probably had a high underground current where they were able to do that.
Yeah, but it's
not.
I like y'all's version.
Well, you can't do it in most places.
Okay.
Usually the water table is much lower.
Okay.
And you got to drill much deeper. How deep are we going for this one?
This one's 150 meters.
Meters, okay. Yeah.
And by the way, the proceeds from your purchases of popcorn have already been sent there, and they are working. And we will send you pictures.
Yep.
To update you, because actually your name probably should be on the cornerstone of those because you supported us. Inconvenience yourself. It's the new year. Rest in peace, Donnie Kirksey. Again, thank you for, even in this thread, your love for the Millhouse, Pearson, and Ross family. Grandmother Janice, Grandma Jan Jan, she had broad shoulders, and now you stand on them. Me too. I just put you on front because you're the husband. Janice. Patricia. Listen, we love you. We appreciate you. Tomorrow, Devin B. Thompson, a Chicagoan, we're like Joliettering. That's not a word. He's from Joliet. Joliet, ATL, and you got business in Atlanta too. Hey, y'all everybody got family in Atlanta because ain't nobody in Atlanta from Atlanta.
Exactly.
So are you hiring in Atlanta?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're in Atlanta,
same website. We got a couple open positions in Atlanta. More to come. A lot more to come. Actually.
Okay.
We're not hiring for international, but we always are looking for individuals that fit for international.
Correct.
Yeah. Go over there. It will change your whole mind about what you've been taught in these schools.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a whole different fun ball of wax, but it's little Chicago for me. Yeah. It's real rich right there. They go Obama House, and then there go the Fort right on 47th Street.
Right next door.
Inconvenience yourself. Great ideas at millhouseinc.com. Thank you for your love, your prayers. Tomorrow, Devin B. Thompson, Behind the Brown Door. Other than that, I think, I can't, do you know what to say now? I've been in here with you. You forgot. Oh, Lord Jesus, the babies. We say peace because we wish you peace. Shalom, people. It's Kwanzaa. Shalom. And then what do we say? That we have, what's coming up? Football? We say.
Oh, you already know. I know it, baby. Let's go. It's Friday.
Roll Tide.
No, now you know. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Happy birthday, Jay!